What's up, everyone? Welcome back to RLCS Overtime. Having a ton of fun here today. We're about halfway through the show. I'm Axel Tosh. We're on my final carpet. We got Kronovi, Quinn Lobdell over there. Guys, it's been awesome so far, but now we're going to talk about a tournament that recently wrapped up that a lot of people are talking about, and it's Dreamhack. Just wrapped up in Sweden. Let's get right into it, guys, because this was an awesome tournament for a number of reasons. Dreamhack, they've announced 2 Rocket League tournaments happening. One that just happened in Sweden, Atlanta coming up. We're going to talk about that in a second. But let's take a look at the bracket to see how this one unfolded, because look at the teams at the top here. Gale Force eSports falling to Flipside Tactics in the grand finals. And honestly, the top 4 teams there, I think, are pretty awesome in their own ways. Gale Force, Rogue, Flipside, Diffuse Kids. But let's start with Flipside here, your champions. A key thing here is Greasy Meister was unable to make it to Dreamhack, so they got Mystic. They got Mystic involved. Mystic from Mocket, and he ended up helping that team of Mystic, Marky, and Cooksier emerge as champions.
Yeah, I mean, Mystic really took over on the defensive side of things. Greasy is typically somebody who's gonna boom the ball around the midfield, and he's got great defense, but he's always a striker at heart. And Mystic had a bit of a different play style, but Cux and Marky, they adapted to it, and they had a very close set against Scrubkill's team. But they did end up taking the whole tournament in a very convincing fashion in the grand finals.
Very impressive, but it wasn't easy. As you mentioned, Scrubkilla's team. And for those who don't know Scrubkilla, it's an interesting topic in Rocket League right now where he's a little bit too young to play in RLCS, but he showed up to Dreamhack playing a part of Diffuse Kids, and they actually made a pretty deep run in this tournament. Are you guys surprised about Scrubkilla and his team with Pashy and Niels Cook? Are you guys surprised about how well they were able to do in this tournament?
I don't know. I think Pashy90's always had a really good eye for players that he'll work well with. It's one of the things we talk about a lot. Every roster that he manages to find, whether he gets a totally new one or kind of bounces around, he'll bounce around to the last second. Man, he's made some moves that some people are like, all right, I guess. Last second, he'll like, you know what? I think this is our team. Yeah. And there's really, if anyone only watches RLCS, you probably don't see Scrub, and I'll probably let these two talk about how good Scrub really is. Yeah. But his mechanical skill in the game is almost unmatched. It's kind of insane.
I want to get that out of the way right away. Scrubkilla. For those who don't know who he is or what have you, what are y'all's opinions on Scrubkilla?
Probably the 1v1 GOAT.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time 1v1 player. He's 14. He's
Why? How?
It feels so bad losing to a 14-year-old by like 10 goals. Yeah, it is soul crushing.
And he'll do it like every time.
He's so creative. It's like, it's unbelievable. Like, he just doesn't run out of ideas, new ways to like manipulate the balls. Like, he's the one who's like coming out with like new types of shots and things. Like, it's just everything he does is so unexpected. It's so hard to predict. He has no like habits that you can kind of capitalize on, and not to mention his mechanics are really.
How does that, obviously a 1v1 master, how does that tie into the 3v3 dynamic, which is obviously a big focus of Rocket League right now? From Scrubkilla's perspective, what does he need around him to make just a powerhouse team besides you two?
Well, Scrub in 1v1s, he scores a lot of goals, but in 3v3, he plays a lot of defense. It's very strange. He's very reserved. He makes sure that he has all the boost he needs and that he's the backbone for his team. He wins all of his challenges.
That's also what he does in ones, though. In ones, he's like the most insane goalie. He can save anything like, without any boost. Or he's just so crafty. Yeah. In the game, he knows how to like make the best use of whatever he has in any situation, and like always. Very rarely do you see Scrub make bad choices. Usually, it's like he doesn't even get outplayed. He just gets in his own head or something.
Yeah. Like how many times do you see him like own goal or like pass to the other team?
Never happens.
Like an unforced error from Scrub on defense is so rare.
So just technically incredibly sound.
Yeah. And that's huge in 3v3s, and like the fact that he's young and that he's like creative and smart as well. I mean, you can understand like how he just kind of molds into a team and is able to bring like a lot of, you know, like a solid foundation to him defensively.
And something I think about a little bit is like, you know, you talk about nerves. You're on that stage at Dreamhack, and he goes up there and gets top 4 as part of that
14,
team.
15.
Great.
Yeah, he looks so comfortable.
And on top of that, forcing Flipside to go for a reverse sweep because they were up 2-0. Flipside had to win 3 in a row, or Diffuse Kids in Scrubkilla would have been in the finals.
Right. I mean, the pace from Diffuse Kids right off the bat, and what I think an unmentioned hero in Diffuse Kids, their third, Niels Cook, he really showed up. He was very consistent. He didn't have too many crazy goals, but he was a solid anchor for the team, and I think he stepped up and helped Pashy make those plays and really kept the pace up against Flipside.
We'll see how that storyline develops, but I want to talk about Rogue really quick, guys. This is the only North American team in attendance, and they did pretty well getting top 4. Talk to me about Rogue.
Well, Rogue initially, in I believe the pools, lost to Diffuse Kids, so they ended up going to the side of the bracket where Penta was waiting. And they went 2 up against Penta. They were looking really solid, and Penta scared everybody with a potential reverse sweep, but Rogue held it down. And then they went on to play Gale Force, and Gale Force were looking very strong. Honestly, I think Gale Force, those matches they played the best in the tournament against Rogue. You know, unfortunately, I wanted to root for NA, but Gale Force were very strong.
Hey, but Rogue's still showing up and doing a great job.
Top 4 finish.
And then the storyline of, okay, you have Gale Force, who has K-Dop, who came from Mocket, and then you have Mystic from Mocket. Mystic going to Flipside, taking out Gale Force, saying, what up? and Flipside securing the championship there over Gale Force eSports. Awesome tournament out of Dreamhack. Awesome competition all around and great storylines too. Really exciting. And we're not done with Dreamhacks over the summer because we have one coming up. Let's take a look here because Atlanta is incoming. Ladies and gents, twitch.tv/Dreamhack Rocket League hosted in Atlanta July 21st through the 23rd. $50,000 prize pool. Kronovi, are you going to win it all?
I mean, Georgia is my home state. I used to live north of Atlanta. That's my city. That city's mine.
Hometown advantage to the T, to the state.
Although
doesn't happen very often.
Garrett and Jacob are both Georgia too. I don't know how close to Atlanta, but NRG might be the Atlanta team, but I'm the Atlanta boy, so it's my city.
Wow.
Quinn, are you excited about Dreamhack Atlanta?
I'm really excited to see those matches. I mean, I don't know how G2 is gonna do really, but hopefully you can prove that title, huh?
Yeah, my city. That's all.
There you go. You heard it
Atlanta
here first.
Novi.
Yeah.
Love seeing Dreamhacks involve Rocket League in the capacity they are. I think Sweden provided a lot of amazing competition, and I don't think there's any reason Atlanta won't. I feel like obviously we're going to see many more North American teams. I wonder how many European teams are going to be involved with Dreamhack Atlanta. You got any intel on that, Kronovi?
I would fully expect Gale Force and Flipside to make an appearance. Those rosters seem to be like the most locked down. Yeah. I don't know. There's still a lot up in the air, and some people might not be able to travel. But
I think we can be sure that Flipside's going to be out there.
Yeah, I think we could guarantee Flipside.
Yeah, I mean they just won the first one. They're definitely going to be the second one. So
it's a lot of money too. These are like some big tournaments, right? They'd be crazy not to fly out there.
And the North America versus Europe rivalry continues. But we also have something else going on. It's the Brisk Summer Series, and it's starting very soon. In fact, this weekend. And look at this. We have your teams that have qualified and your teams that have been invited. Denial and Set to Destroy had the top cheer counts. They will be there. And invites were dished out to G2, NRG, the Muffin Men, Ohana, Splice, and Take 3. That starts again this Sunday, June 25th at noon Pacific. $6,000 prize pool, and there's a couple more throughout the summer. Guys, talk to me about the Brisk Summer Series.
Well, I'm happy to be invited, and I'm definitely not afraid to take the risk.
Oh, you can't be afraid to take the risk if you're playing in the Brisk Summer Series.
Exactly. So I can't turn it down, you know.
Like that.
Carpet, come on.
Carpet, what's going on, man?
With Waypunk not here, I thought we were done with puns, but apparently we're not. No, I think it's awesome to see these teams that we don't normally see as often. You know, we get to see people like Splice, Ohana, teams that we didn't get to see throughout RLCS League play. Yeah. I don't know how locked in those rosters are. They're a little bit harder to get news on because they're not announcing things because they're not in the limelight as much. Yeah. So I don't know if those rosters will still be around, and I know some of them have switched up. I think we're going to see Dapper, I think, on one of them as well.
Potentially, maybe. I don't know.
Potentially.
And it's all up in the air.
It's a little up in the air.
It's a little early.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nothing concrete.
Tune in to find out Brisk Summer Series. Very exciting. Twitch.tv/Rocket League. See you there. Another tournament that's happening. We like giving some hype to some community tournaments going on. We have the Mad City Summer Shootout. Let's take a quick look at this happening in Chicago also this weekend. So if you're in Chicago, go hang out. Me and Kronovi are going to carpool down there and win this. But if you want to compete with us, 2v2 LAN, and then somehow do Brisk at the same time. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. 2v2 LAN with $1,000 prize pool. 32 teams max, June 24th, Ignite Gaming Lounge in Chicago. Huge shout out to this organization. And if you're watching this and you have the ability to set something up like this, go do it. We love it. We love seeing this, especially on RLCS Overtime. So that kind of wraps up our tournament discussion. But we have a lot more exciting stuff coming up on the show Trivia is going to be happening a little bit later with these two, Kronovi and Quinn Lobdell, so look out for that. Otherwise, I'm so excited to see the Chicago tournament coming up. Brisk Summer Series coming up as well, and Dreamhack. Stay tuned to that. But that is going to wrap it up for this segment. Coming up next, it's Quinn going one-on-one with Carpet. Stay tuned.